Before I get started, this video was made possible by a review code from the game's developer, Insert Disc 5. There's also downloadable content for the soundtrack and a very cool art book filled with concept art and funny comics. Check out the link in the description to visit the game's Steam store page. Thank you to Insert Disc 5 for providing the code, and now let's get on with the video. I'll start this video off by saying I'm not usually one for romance stories. I just didn't grow up reading, watching, or playing romantic stories, and so it's admittedly a sizable hole in the media I engage with. In more recent years, I've started to fill that gap with stories such as Donuts Under a Crescent Moon, so I am growing a bigger appreciation for the genre. One thing I am familiar with, however, is visual novels. While I gravitate towards more action-packed games, visual novels such as Valhalla, the one about bartending, provide a nice relaxing experience. It's nice to unwind with a warm drink and play a game that engages your mind instead of your reflexes. And so, this Sapphic game from Insert Disc 5, the creator of In Stars in Time, piqued my interest. Regrettably, I haven't yet played In Stars in Time, but I've heard a lot of great things about it, so it's at the top of my list. But what about Serre, the game this video is about? Serre is a story about a lonely girl who is descended upon by an alien invader sent to conquer the world. The story takes a pretty sharp left turn, as it turns out neither of them are all too satisfied with their current lot in life. Rather than a dramatic, gripping science fiction story, the game presents a charming and funny romance between this unlikely pair. The writing is equal parts witty and saccharine, earning just as many audible awes from me as it did laughs. This is all helped by the gorgeous hand-drawn character art and backgrounds. The atmosphere is warm and cozy, making for an enjoyable experience throughout the entire story. Though the story is short, the characters are incredibly layered. Arlette is clearly written with a history in mind that informs her self-confidence issues, sometimes acting in ways that surprise even herself. Oaxa is somewhat of a kindred spirit, as it becomes abundantly clear that the imperialist role is a weight around her neck rather than a lofty aspiration. Though the path never changes, I enjoyed replaying the story to choose different dialogue options so I could see the different ways the characters express their voices. With this story, I feel there's a lot to unwrap and interpret in the characters. Arlette never outright states how she got to be where she is, but I have some pretty good guesses. The game also draws attention to Oaxa not having a mouth, and I can't help but feel this external physical detail reflects a difference in how she internally experiences and expresses attraction and affection. I do need to talk about the game's length a little bit. I've made mention of the fact that it's short. A full playthrough of the story will take you about 45 minutes, less so if you're a speed reader. In recording B-roll for this game, my total playtime ran to about 1.5 hours, spread across 3 separate playthroughs. Some people view that as an immediate turnoff, but I think that would be a mistake. Somewhere along the line, people started equating completion time with quality, but that's just generally not my experience. I've played and enjoyed plenty of short games I gladly would have paid more for, and I've also sunk hundreds of hours into huge games that ended up feeling like they wasted both my time and money. The question shouldn't be about game length, but rather if the game accomplishes its goals. A short game can feel as though it was underbaked, or it can feel like a complete, succinct exploration of its premise. A long game can feel deep and fulfilling just as easily as it can feel meandering and stretched thin. And in my view, Serre feels like a complete game. It tells the story it wants to without feeling rushed or incomplete. Serre is a dessert game. Best experience wrapped in a blanket with a warm drink and maybe also some cookies or a scone. This is certainly fitting given how often the game likes to discuss tea. It certainly can't sustain you if you want a longer, 5-course romance, but just as there's something to appreciate in a well-prepared dinner, there's also a lot of artistry in a finely crafted dessert. Take your time with it and enjoy it slowly, and it just might end up being the most memorable part of your night. Now, if I had to summarize in brief why you should want to play this, I guess what I would say is, it's super gay. Gay. homosexual, sapphic, gay, lesbian. According to my viewership analytics, my audience is overwhelmingly men. Now, part of that is almost certainly because some of you haven't given Google personally identifying information, such as your gender, so it just assumes you're a guy. Another part of that is, for some of you, no you're not. You got recommended a video from an openly queer, furry, transgender woman. Given how well recommendation algorithms are able to build profiles on people, I think it's time for a little introspection on your end. The skirt really do go spinny, so just take the estrogen already. What I'm saying here is, if you're the kind of person who connects with my videos, if you regularly say to the screen, "I like your funny words, Foxy girl," then this game, a visual novel that tells an earnest lesbian romance story, will be right up your alley. It's not leering or exploitative. It's a real, honest romance between two women. And I think that's worth a whole lot more than its $5 price tag. With all that said, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll watch the next video. And thank you once again to Insert Disc 5 for providing the first ever review code for my channel.